Hi, everyone. Welcome to Poetry Street. I am very happy that you're here in the Riverhead Public Library and also on Zoom. This is National Poetry Month. We'd like to start Poetry Street with the land welcoming. New York City and Long Island has always been the gathering and trading places for many of the indigenous people. We acknowledge that we are guests on this land. Poetry Street and our work here in Long Island is situated on the ancestral land of the Lenape, who are the original caretakers, the Canarsie, the Shinnecock, the Nantucket, the Recordwalk, the Maasai, and the Haudenosaunee. We acknowledge and respect the many indigenous people who live on this land and continue to make ongoing contributions. It is my pleasure to introduce you to and bring up to the front Maggie Bloomfield.
Well, there you are on Zoom. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Poetry Street, the room without a roof, where every voice is heard. Our mission is diversity. Poetry Street was started now almost 13 years ago by Susan Dingle and Bubby Brown, who's with us today. Hi, Bubby. We started out at the Blue Duck Bakery here in Riverhead. Unfortunately, it closed after 6 years, and we wandered around a bit, but then we found a home here at the library, and I want to thank the library and Joanne White for hosting us for the last few years. We have a policy here. If you love poetry, you are going to applaud wildly and make lots of noise. If you don't like the poetry, you are going to applaud loudly and make lots of noise, because a lot of people come and they've never read before, and but they come back and they come back and they get better. And what we're trying to promote is a love of poetry. If you plan to read at the open mic, please sign up on the sheet. And I pretty much spread the news about the community poem for those of you on Zoom. If you send Claire one line, she will email those lines to me, and next month I'll come back with a community poem. So you have to come back next month if you want to hear the poem, right? The prompt this month is The Ocean Speaks to Me. So one line on that topic. Okay, I think we might be ready to go with our wonderful features today. First up is going to be Doug Swezy. He serves on the board of directors for Bard's Initiative. He hosts the First Friday reading series at the Dog-Eared Bard's Bookshop, and he's co-creator of Super Poem Sunday. You might want to look into those things and get involved. His feature at the Conklin Barn was covered by the New York Times, while CBS 2 News featured his poem Northport 1996 at Northport Art Coalition's Poetry Path. If you haven't seen that path, go see the path in Northport. It's just fabulous. Doug is a graduate of Stony Brook, and he's author of Stony Brook University, Off the Record, College Prowler 2005. Please let us give a warm welcome to Doug Swezy.
Wow! Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Chip. I'm really excited to be here and to be with my co-features. Totally excited. I couldn't get my Wi-Fi to work down here. I wanted to start with I had this recording of a needle touching a record and kind of scratching a little bit, and then going into Whitman's recording of America from 1885. So I'm just going to start with his poem, America. Center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike endeared, grown, ungrown, young or old, strong, ample, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love, a grand, sane, towering, seated mother, chaired in the adamant of time. And I really feel those words are still applicable today, which is just mind-boggling. This is number 1389, subtitled Closure. I tried speaking to a safety pin today, which is something I had tried doing before, yet somehow it always goes sideways. Though their aim is to promote safety, it seems they forget how they are metal and cannot listen. Metal, a forged substance, tough to bend, and albeit there is a point at the end, it is all the while sharp. I feel it instead stabbing me often when trying to close the gap of fabric, attempting to grasp and claw, holding on to what it can as a means for refuge. It seems there might be a better way. I like a wooden clothespin, carved fresh from the flesh of earth. Smooth grain fastens the masses into a patchwork of cloth, holding together a kaleidoscope of color in a simpler, easier way, hearkening back to our forefathers and ancestors, those who came before us and managed to make a way for themselves in this place by speaking plainly, directly. Wood has the capacity to bend, blend. It is all our grains interlaced, which keeps it strong and tightly held from instants of wind-blown moments, and all we have is one another. Perhaps one day in a far-off land which is beneath our feet and only time-worn, some type of toggle, a closure will be invented that allows us to speak free and easy, where the rights of the conscience shall not be infringed, connecting the tissue of our body that gathers together in Congress to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, form a more perfect union where the right of the people is to be secure in their persons, live in harmony, egalitarian. Thank you. I have discovered America. I have discovered gravel on the drive which leads up to the condemned house built in the 1890s, smell the soil wet with rain, permeating the futures of blades growing the fields we run through as children, when the future is an open-ended bookmark. I have discovered the breadth of view overlooking the smoggy cities we have settled for. I have discovered the font in which the limited classifieds are set when, after earning with hard work a degree which makes better for kindling to earn warmth, as there is nothing for us Gen Xers to vocate. I have discovered the feeling of vast emptiness which describes the ways in which I cannot propose to my long-lost love because there is no money to buy a ring, there is no ring to be bought for a sunny disposition to be set upon a happy union, foretelling of a dream to be won through determination. Hard work earns nothing anymore but dreams. Hard work earns nothing more than a story of sweat, a cold shower to wash away the thoughts of freedom my mother held close as a child during the 1964 World's Fair, watching from her second-story bedroom window fireworks exploding each night in a celebration of imagination come to fruition. Ideas realized and commoditized into a working model of stocks sold to those who know how to invest, getting the most out of America. I discovered the landfill politicians are working to reclaim all those plastic memories, working to be recycled, that toy fire engine discarded after Christmas 1967, the Tonka tow truck lost in the school sandbox after recess 1984, like the 1894 outhouse pottery behind Whitman's birthplace. I meet with the men from O'Neill's Iceman every week. They steal money off the bar, look for buybacks and shots for minor accomplishment. They are alive and in the thick of it. They have escaped the drug dealer one more week. They bum a hit and scrub a smoke. Their stories are compelling, all trying to convince me that the next big job is coming. The next big score is about to happen. The next big man is going to take them away to paradise. I've discovered I can lose an amazing amount of weight. I can work from home and become a millionaire. I've been left billions by my long-lost grandmother's, postman's, lawyer's, daughter's, best friend's, teacher's, gardener. And for just a few small personal clues, can transfer the monies from Ethiopia to my bank account, provided my PIN number, routing number, and social security identification. I can grow my penis to the size of an elephant for just that aforementioned sum in the matter of days. I can reconnect with my long-lost love, and this time she'll be interested. I can connect with anyone I like with these few steps now that I am an elephant. I have discovered that get-rich-quick schemes have become more urgent, more unbelievable, and more costly. I have discovered that America is a big melting pot. We are melting anything we can find. That last copper penny was issued 30 years ago. I have a tiny gold replica of it. I've discovered the memory of America. Those things that depict and document its memory are the things that make America worthwhile. All those stamps, baseball cards, coins, memorabilia regarding America, they are worth money. They used to be worth more. I'd have a house, a job, a car. I have the American dream. I've also discovered America has lost money on its memory. I have discovered that there is no price for the American memory. That time I went to a bar and spoke the word which explained the truth of my American past and found finally the American woman of my dreams with which to celebrate an American history of our own. I've discovered my own piece of America, and though I have nothing to name my own, I have found love and created my own account to build upon. I've discovered America, and it is me. It is those things I wish to attain with my love. I have discovered America, and it is those things we are trying to create together, and now realize it is the thing we dream to be together. We are America, piecing it together one step at a time, pushing ourselves to support the love we have. We have discovered America, the prospect of undiscovered things discovered in unison. Thank you. Let's see. It is National, well, actually, let's start here. It was Earth Day, just, what was it, Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday? So this is a poem I wrote, and I think I kind of channeled Max Wheat, who was the unofficial first poet laureate of Nassau. This is number 1716, subtitled Apex Predator. And I should mention the Apex landfill in, I believe it's Nevada, is the largest in the world. Ornithology is a captivating study, birding, as hobbyists call it. Observing the aviary species, its many feathered varieties, their migratory patterns, deviations in plumage, social constructs Fascinating. Geese are quite protective of their young, using wings to slap away threats, usually sleeping with one eye open. Bird lovers use whistles to lure them close, binoculars to observe without interference. But to really intimately approach, the best recommendation is to visit a landfill. One can bear down, almost walk right up to them as they search human discards for food to bring back to their goslings in a nest made of cellophane and cigarette butts, while yoked inside a plastic six-pack ring. So I host a reading, as Maggie mentioned, and we do an optional open mic theme, which you could do or not, but I feel it's good. It pushes people to write. The theme this one particular month was sharks, and apparently sharks are endangered. So this is number 927, subtitled Sharknado. The circles were coming in, and the sun was about to set. I wanted so much to take inventory of the whole thing, but icicles were lacking and the fear was trooping closer to think that the iteration of water was nearing its apex, as if Earth were nearing its ultimate summit climax. But we all know temperature has become a man-made mistake. Oh, we can measure it, yes. But the ozone is disappearing, the lakes are filling higher, the icebergs are going, Atlantis will surely show its face soon, and we might just be able to learn what others have learned, what others have known for so long in those antiquated library systems before Dewey was around and able to file away under ice those truths about existence of aliens who are humans just more distantly removed from ourselves. All that intelligence distinctly removed so that fallacies or trendy models can ordain politics into a morsel which is easier to swallow. Who shall protect us, the quick and the dead? Who shall protect Jesus, the quick and the dead? And using religion as a crux to understand the mortality of humans, using relics to get at the bias, the juxtaposition of ourselves to the stars. What explains a universe? What are the animals which swim so solemnly we never see in a quake of ever-terrestrial nomenclature? The sharks are circling. They go because they are dying. All this was known. It has been known for some time. It was predicted by the Mayans, the Chinese, Nostradamus, and the newer man. The sharks are circling because they must meet up for alliance. We humans are killing them. We humans are killing ourselves. We humans are dumb. And the libraries are open. No one goes to read the books. No one approaches the fear itself. There is nothing to fear itself. Disappeared is a fear of wary importance. An igloo may die. Polar bears looking for mother have found Earth has abandoned them. And when I say Earth, I mean man, a mean man. No recollection of the past, no nothing to fury but burning the dead. We will fury ourselves, fear our ancestors, and burn the dead with incredible libraries left to none. But those left frozen beneath the tundra, the sharks are circling. Alien Atlantis, why have you not saved us? Why are the sharks circling? How soon before they are gone? How soon before ourselves? Thank you. So I come from Northport, and there was another poet that lived in Northport too. His name was Jack Kerouac. I don't know if anyone heard of him, but this is number 589. We still talk of Kerouac. He is here, living in Northport, touching us with words that he read yesterday, 30 years ago, to me, alone in a book that has been shared in memory. We hold together, recollect in conversated moments, laughing at his foibles and mine. And how could he remember but comment upon and write as we've never met, my best friend and I? about sacred moments shared alone in a sea of wispy lilac, a dandelion in a field of destructive youth, bending in a fluttering breeze. My brother rescues me daily from a netherworld of suicide, dirty thoughts accumulated in solitude's brain, locked with a key he created for express use at a time when shoving superficial love down my throat on a 13-inch TV in the early waking hours of my bedroom is a sinewy cardinal, fleeting in circles around my bulbous head, aching, arching for the present to enjoy the fallacies that prey upon imaginative realities, paralleling the insanity of warm whiskey in a glass sipped hours ago for the entertainment of nothing but a reality dreamed of a perfect moment in harmony, because there is nothing else to do but dream. And dream well, so the effort is not wasted. I can claim to be productive today and ignore all that was not driving me to success. But a steamroller once flattened the ground, which became a lane that was widened for the LIE before bumper glints were installed, and you helped me to see a green sign with white letters offering sense of place, direction on a predetermined roadmap that sits tattered and crumpled in the glove box locked in front of the empty seat of a passenger in the Ford I drive to find my death, curled in the cream pages of a novel written, unpublished, and waiting for someone to listen with thorny ears intent the way I have listened to you, well, all these years. My fan time? Okay. All right. Let me call in. This is a good one. Number 637. God is a record player. We are scratching the surface. Time moves on in a circle, ever concentric to the center. We are etching our place in speedy time, 33, 45, 78. The old Victrola sings sonata, ragtime, wicca wicca, electronica. It is a small groove, concentric. As time goes on, our groove gets bigger. We are cut from a vinyl tree, hopeful when the note high is hit, ominous when the note low is siphoned out. And for all the volume, we are no closer, further from the end. We sing, scream, play louder above history's laughter, fervent, limber. Our polarity keeps us in limbo. God remembers while we do not. We repeat our mistakes. I should have taken out the garbage. I should have said I love you. Should have been honest. Should not have lied. Not have feigned indifference. Not have uprooted the tree. The work is never done. Sounds keep sounding on, sending the message over and over. And God, I think he listens, continuous, needle scratching. The record keeps spinning, but the record is skipping. It's skipping. It's skipping. The record is skipping. It's skipping. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was amazing. Let's hear it for Doug Swezy. We're skipping. Well, it occurred to me that I neglected to read the community poem from last month, so I'm going to do that before I introduce our next wonderful reader. The prompt last month was something about spring. Okay, the key to life is to breathe in the uncomfortable, awakened to spirit. Tulips, hyacinths, clematis, roses, daffodils, even lilies cry when they lose their smile. For spring will end and summer will begin. Okay. Our next reader, Kim D. Brandon, is a poet, artist, activist, storyteller. Her work has been included in stage performances, anthologies, and journals. She is widely published and is founder of the Wild Honey Writers Collective, which provides space for writers to build their craft in community. Kim hopes to publish her first poetry collection, Red Honey, this year. Help me welcome Kim D. Brandon.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to read. I'm just loving this community. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, everyone. Here we go. So what I want to do, which I never do, is I'm going to read love poems. I generally write political poems. And so today I'm going to read some of my little love poems and see how it goes. And then because it's 30-30, I'm doing the 30-30 challenge. I'll read one of those too. So here we go. And this poem is for a friend of mine. This is not my story. This is a fictional poem. And it's called I Recall. I remember the sound of my heart swelling up in my chest. I remember wanting to cry, wanting to weep out loud. I remember biting my bottom lip to keep the sounds on the inside. I remember that sick feeling and asking for a bathroom. What I remember most from meeting my father was all the stories I was told and how none of them would come true. Not for me. I remember the first time I saw him. I remember how one leg was a little bit shorter than the other. I remember how he smelled of old liquor and cheap perfume. I remember my dressing up and expecting that he would do the same. I remember he didn't seem interested in the reunion I had waited 10 years to have. I remember him looking past me at a woman in tight white shorts. I remember us not saying anything too much to each other. I remember wanting to slap him for not fixing himself. I remember him finally saying, "You know what? You look just like your Aunt Claudine." Now, Aunt Claudine could shake a mean jelly roll, and you the splitting image. That's what he said. I remember him getting up, humming a little tune. I remember him doing a slide, shake, glide, shake, shake, move. I remember him asking me, "Hey, can you shake a mean jelly roll?" I remember him extending his hand for me to join him. I showed him my jelly roll. It was more jam than jelly, but I shook it anyway. I remember him showing me a step here and a step or two there. I remember him beaming, showing me where I could shake and how to shake to the beat. You know what I remember? I remember liking him instantly. That's what I remember. And here's another poem. It's called Oh Baby. A poem fluttered outside my windowsill, silver feathers light as air, a wild bird of words, rhymes that soar in the center of my soul, wings humming the slow and salty blues. At twilight, it comes in the silence, embracing my heart as it moans. I've been here before, oh baby. Oh, baby, let me in. Oh, baby, I've come and gone and come again. I say, oh, baby, to the footprints of peace late in the evening, leaving open a poem in verse on the arc of my spine. I say, oh, baby. Come and go again and again, bring on the peace of a well spent poem. read in the silence of love's refrain. Oh, baby. I wrote this poem, I want to say about 20 years ago, but it's still one of my favorites. So I'm going to read it to y'all because I picked some love poems. Talk about big love, not perfect love, moving in, but good love. Remember that spring it rained for 75 days straight? Things that were meant and we thought were permanent all floated away. Remember that spring? Remember my hair reverted back to something from childhood? You found me there in the water. You found me soaking wet. You were there with a boat. You plugged with hope and rags. You held me as the waters continued to rise. Your kisses overshadowed their pleas for help. We two would survive together, you and I. So when you asked if we could go and save others together, help them into this patchwork of a boat, stress the boards that promised our only escape, risk our only chance of getting away. This was big love. Big, big love. And if we were fortunate, and I hope that we would be, regret would sing her sad ass song off key. May I tell you about good love? Love that saves you from going under, kisses parts of your soul while increasing the capacity of your boat. And this is a small poem, it's one of my favorites. Time for another love poem. Time to get my big old love out the pawn shop. Time to collect bottles and cans for 5-cent deposits before time is up, before someone buys my sweet love, before they repurpose my joy, before they strip off the patina, mistaking it for dirt. I want to be your poem. All these poems starting to sound the same. Okay, I want to be your poem. The secondhand bookstore smaller than the palm of my hand, the audience spilling into the aisles like buttercream frosting on a homemade birthday cake. And there you were, your poems, deep like rivers running under our feet. Where were you taking us, poet? Handsome, where were you taking us? I abandoned all to follow the wave of your rhythm, to be rocked gently back into yesterday. My soul needed no compass, no map to navigate stormy waters. And there you were. I was not unhappy, nor was I content, just longing to be at home, maybe harbored in the warmth of your mouth. I wanted to be the last line in the poem, where my fingers glide calmly along the curve of your spine until melancholy turns into pleasure. I want to be your poem. All right. So what else? What else we gonna do? Okay, this is not so much love, but this is another one of my old favorites. I don't know why I went back 10 years for poems, but I did. This is called Big Girl Panties. And it's not sex. No, don't go there. Don't go there. It's not that. Big girl panties. It implies the time to be brave, walk through the fire, ambers toasting what's left of combed out hair. These panties, these big girl adult warrior panties, those lift the car off that baby's leg, wrestle that wild bear, go into the courthouse and ask for a lower bail, put up with gentrification, put out that cousin who took too much too often. Those panties, you know, the panties, those panties, feel painted on to black skin. So when they tell you to put on your big girl panties and get it done, as if you ever take them off, as if you ever. I don't know how many days straight you've been wearing those same drawers. You hand washed them in the sink just the other day. You had to put them back on before they dried. And there's always a sundry of reasons why. And when the undergarment becomes threadbare from wear, they sag. When the elastic is shot, they sag. The bright color faded with lye soap, they sag. Even with a safety pin holding them up, they sag. Needing a day off and not getting one, conspire to squirrel away days, days to mend, to stitch, and even frolic in tall grasses, bare bottom up. And when Aunt Bluebell died young from exhaustion, every day of her life she had worn those same big girl panties, laced with wear, held together with spit and tears and steel. So when the undertaker asked the family, y'all, what you want me to do with her big girl panties? Tell him to take them off of her. Tell him to bury them beneath a tangle of morning glories. Tell him to let her rest in peace. So I'm at 11 minutes, so I'm going to read one more poem. Yeah. So this is a poem from my father. This is actually my father. I knew my father my whole life. So just because I read that pitiful little poem don't mean I didn't know my dad. Okay. We were both exiled. What did you see when you saw me coming? Thirsty for whatever might be left of you. You, a black man needing to sleep it off after too much whiskey, to nurse your own demons, to recover from a world that you didn't create. Me needing you, but needing more, to share your threadbare, worn out, quiet way station, a holdover to remember the rare scent of peace, a refuge from want, a foxhole, a shield from scrapnel, a white flag waved. We were both exiles. You couldn't come back home. I wouldn't stay at home. You had a kitchenette, a chair in the barbershop, an occasional bent elbow, and a wit and a wisdom. Well, there was me again, marked from birth, cast aside. I earned my keep with food cooked too fast on high flames. Before sleeping the Sunday afternoon away, you kept reminding me to turn the fire down. You said, Kim, be patient. Let the pot cook the food, not the fire. You could turn your back to me in slumber, knowing the feather-light touches of my spirit. I'd leave food warming in pots on your stove, softly lock your door. You giving me more than enough pocket money to make it to the next Sunday. I headed home. hoping not to get caught in the crossfires or ambushed by suffering masquerading as love. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Oh, that was sensational, Kim. Thanks again. All right, so we are moving on. And our final feature, certainly last but certainly not least, is Barbara Southard. Barbara was Poet Laureate of Suffolk County from 2019 to 2021. She is on the boards of the Long Island Collective and the Long Island Poetry and Literature Repository. Barbara is a visual artist and writer, has worked as printmaker, graphic artist, atelier manager, and teacher of life skills to at-risk children. Long Island born, she has traveled widely. Her life experience informs her poetry. Help me welcome Barbara Southard.
Thank you very much, Maggie. I want to say that Maggie and Chip, thank you so much for all you do. You do so much for poetry. The first poem I'm going to read is, it's a lighthearted poem, but do you remember when the bull was rescued on Long Island? It had been, it was going to be slaughtered, and it jumped over the fence and was missing for quite a while. This is a poem about Bernie, the bull. Meant for slaughter, you chased your captors around the lot on the day of your imminent death, broke through a fence, evaded capture in the surrounding fields and woods. On foot, on horseback, with helicopters and drones, searchers scoured the area while you laid low, coming out to graze when you know the coast was clear, outsmarting the best of them. After 2 months, they found you on property that was once a duck farm, the perfect hideout for a smart bull like you. I love you, Barney, in all your sleek black beauty, your desire for life. You now spend your days roaming pastures with others like you, each with their own tale to tell if they could talk. You give me hope. Here's to you, and here's to those that gave you back your life. Now I'm going to read to you a quote from Michael Pollan's book, A World Appears. There is good reason to believe that babies are conscious, aware, and responsive to their environments long before anything resembling a sense of having or being a self emerges. And there's something I learned from my children. When you look into their eyes, when they're very little, you see them take in everything through all of their senses. We tend to filter our senses as we get older, but they take the world in all. So I wrote a poem trying to imagine to what a child sees before they can speak. And this is a poem called Before First Words. I had not learned to speak yet. Only the aquamarine sea against bisque-colored sand and the sky like a robin's egg. I am sitting on a soft woven blanket the color of ripe peaches, nested in a dip in the dunes, where wheat-colored beach grass standing upright, their feathery tufts waving to me from above. There is a wash of blue, soft curve of cloud, pale green and ochre. I breathe in air filled with the marsh smell of decomposing organisms, but I had no words to recount, only the touch of my mother's skin, a breeze brushing against my face, rustle of grass, smell of briny water, wavelengths of light reaching inside to bring a bloom of flowers out. So having had an awful lot of a large family, I do write a lot of poems about children, but this is one that really struck me, and it's concerning the same subject. Years ago, a friend of mine tragically died, leaving 3 very small children. And her son, Larry, used to come over and play with my daughter, Kate, and they would play in the yards. And years later, my daughter told me what they were doing in the yard, and this is a poem about that. 3-year-old looking at a blue jay. Larry sits in the yard with his friend Katie, longing for his mother, certain she's turned into a blue jay. Turning into a blue jay is such a comfort to him, for now they could wait for her visits where they play their days away. Longing can turn a bird into a mother, a butterfly into a lost child. If even for that moment the thought enters the portal of our dreams. It's this longing that tells me there could be angels with feathery wings if one wants to believe so. That all isn't random loss. Who can fault a child's knowing his mother is still with him, so brilliantly blue, sitting on the branch above his head? And this is a recent poem I wrote, and I took a quote from Gloria Steinman. How we are seen no doubt changes how we see ourselves. This is really a poem about getting old, actually. The hem of my dress caught in the drivetrain of my bike today. I came to a screeching stop, making me weigh the joy of riding through these enchanting streets. I was in Key West. Against cracking my head at a time of my life when people sometimes call me sweetheart, and mothers prod their children to give me a seat on the subway. To calm myself, I float on my back in the warm pool water, watch vultures in the blue, blue sky, surfing airdrifts high above. They soar and dip, circling over me, black feathered birds dancing the Cajun waltz to the music of wind. Not yet, my dears, I still have time to play. Later tonight, we'll ride our bikes with flashing lights to blue heaven, let our hair blow in the wind. We'll eat black beans and rice, some shrimp and cornbread, chickens pecking at our toes. Take the ride back in the deep, warm night. Maybe for the last time, maybe not. My tattered white dress whispering in my ear, nothing is forever. Now, I I had read that England had appointed a minister of loneliness. I think you probably might have seen that in the news. That was a little bit, it was around COVID. And in 2023 in New York State, they appointed an ambassador of loneliness. So I wrote this poem called Minister of Loneliness. I'm here to lift you out of the dark well you find yourself in. People passing by as if all is right with the world. The young with their audacious laughter, couples in love, holding hands in the park, neighbors pulling out of their driveways for the ride to work. You tell me you have become invisible, life narrowed in a stream choked with weeds. Once the hub of a many-spoked wheel, you now sit in a room disconnected from all you knew. Minutes stretching out into an abandoned railroad track leading to nowhere. I ask myself, where have all the families gone? Generational houses where stories were passed on, giving a sense of place to our lives, where a child would not have to come home from school to an empty house, neighbors who watch out for each other, dropping over for a cup of coffee. The world has gone ravenous for touch. Amidst the tangle of wires snaking from room to room, cacophony of TV, its dreary drone, on from morning till night, casting a flickering blue light. I am the minister of loneliness, appointed by the government to cherish you, to hold your hand. And this is a small little poem. You never know when a day's experience will turn into a poem, and this was just a minor experience. I titled it Swimming Mouse. While out crabbing, I scooped up a mouse struggling to reach land, and even though I knew mice were good swimmers, the long distance it had yet to make made me think it was not going to make it as far as the marsh. There is always someone who stops their car for a procession of ducks crossing a road, or halts traffic in order to pick up a turtle trying to make it from one side of the road to the other. Small acts of mercy we choose to do in our humdrum lives while the world burns around us. Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you. Features, what wonderful features we have had today. Let's give them a hand. They will return at the end of the program with an encore poem for us. We'll look forward to that. We're going to move into the open mic, which Chip is going to take over, but before we go into it, this coming Thursday at the Mattatuck Cutchogue Library, Chip and I will be presenting. It's part of a program for Poetry Month. It starts at 5 o'clock in the evening. We will feature, and then we will have a poetry circle. We encourage people to bring a poem, either one of your own or one by somebody else to read, or we may just give you a prompt. But whatever, it will end at 6:45. There are flyers on the table if you're interested. And now I'm going to... Mattatuck Laurel. Oh, oh yeah, Mattatuck Laurel, sorry.
And Maggie, will Chip speak about the Kappa program?
Yes.
Yes, Chip will now take over.
Everyone, once again, thank you for being here and thank you for joining us here at Poetry Street. This is the room without a roof where every voice is heard. As we move into the open mic, we ask that you please only read one poem under 3 minutes, not your epic, and usually your poem could speak for itself, so there's no need to have a long opening. First, I would like to tell you about an anthology. I teamed up with Kappa, Caribbean American Poets Association, and we're putting together an anthology of Black poets of Long Island to celebrate Jupiter Hammond, who's the first Black person to publish anywhere in the United States. He was born in 1711. He was enslaved by 3 generations of the Lloyd family, and while he was enslaved, he published An Evening Thought. So the anthology is celebrating Jupiter, and we're asking for 100 poets because this is the 100th year of celebrating Black history. It started with Carter G. Woodson with Black History Week, and then that evolved into Black History Month. So please submit your poems. If you know anyone that has ties or live in Long Island that's a Black writer, because we want these Black stories. Thank you. And now for the open mic, we would like to start with Steve Saborkin. He was the first one here today. Let's give him a hand.
So the features today were probably the most textured and erudite bunch of I'm so deeply impressed from all corners. It was like this perfect triangle it was quite beautiful, and I'm humbled by it. So I went through a phase of writing at 3 o'clock in the morning. This one was at 2:40. Black coffee and scotch. This is what happens. This is called The Ultimate Art of Humanity. Airline terminals are long, hollow bones through which the marrow of the world pours, a place to stand amongst ourselves, to witness the quiet pulsing miracle of us. I, as a man who has felt his callus grow and then slowly began to soften in this great echoing machine, this room of the in-between. I gaze into this concourse of consistency and chaos, this clatter of herded humanity, not noticing its architecture, instead seeing its vessels and veins, the arteries of a living thing. These halls and vestibules and rooms are the arteries, scrubbed clean and bright by the constant friction, carrying warm blood of our collective hope towards each horizon. Each of us a cell carrying a tiny flickering candle of purpose, packing our lives into small boxes on wheels, choosing what is essential and what is not. Isn't that the ultimate form of human artistry? Deciding what to take and what to actually leave behind? I catch the eye of a stranger near a gate, and for a heartbeat, we are 2 separate lives. Yet we are 2 blood cells, 2 travelers in the body terminal under this vast, indifferent sky, both reaching for a hand or a destination, whose lies have led to this fleeting yet meaningful, strangely intimate encounter. Global providence, I imagine, meeting and not meeting with thousands of miles in circumstances to bind, bound, and individualize. Beliefs are unimportant in this realm. They are upended. Standing in reflection, I seem to spend way too much of my time building these ridiculous walls and nursing my little prejudices. prejudices, and drawing red lines in the sand, my own sandbox. Tenuous or fragile convictions are splinters under the skin in this body. This terminal casts them out, enabling me to feel more than I actually see, enveloped in a warp and weave of 1,000 different threads, the rough wool of a laborer, the silk of the executive, the soft cotton of a child's sleeve, all being pulled through the same needle's eye. There is a profound and rugged love in this movement, this dance. Here the lines blur, fade into what they really are, only my lies. The terminal demands a certain surrender of truth and coming clean of each that enter its form, its labyrinth, knowing we are transient, only asking for awareness, agency, and vicinity while we inhabit its space. Revealing my own shame that it can be this easy to be together in this thing called a terminal, but yet cannot be translated to a higher level on a more encompassing exhibit of strength and vision. Out there, past the doors, past the glass that seal us into this fleeting bubble of life. The love and connection is all around you in here, in this steel concrete examination room. It is not an easy love of a grading card, but a hard-earned love of a species that keeps showing up. We fly towards the center of our lives, towards ambition that keeps us hungry, the love that keeps me sane, sometimes just the necessary silence of being gone for a while. To be in the airport is to be in the edge of yourself, waiting for the wind to take you where you already belong. But in the end, we are all doing the same thing, getting along, getting by, and occasionally we actually do get it right. We land and we take off and we seek the heat of a family kitchen or the cold clarity of a new start. And as I stand waiting for my own cell of humanity to arrive, watching the tide of my humanity swell in sound and form, in transfer and conspiracy, I realize that I am not just moving through this terminal, but I am the terminal. We are our own arrival and we are our own departures all at once. And despite the scars and the miles, there is something holy about the way we keep trying to find our way back to one another, even if we don't realize it. Thank you.
I was wondering what whose glasses those were. I have glasses all over the house, and it's like I can never find any when I actually need it. Yeah, it's crazy. Great poem, and the features, oh my gosh, the features were exceptional. Thank you so much, Doug and Barbara and Kim. Your work is just impeccable. Thank you so much. Next on the open mic is Jen Sift. Let's give it up for Jen.
I didn't bring a poem of my, oh wow, I didn't know we were mic'd. I didn't bring a poem of my own today. And this one was Calling Out for Me by Arthur Rimbaud, who is a French poet from the late 1800s. And he was a total cad. Baudelaire was just wild for Rimbaud. But then Rimbaud goes and writes this poem called Novel. 1. No one's serious at 17. On beautiful nights when beer and lemonade and loud, blinding cafes are the last thing you need, you stroll beneath green lindens on the promenade. Lindens smell fine on June nights. Sometimes the air is so sweet that you close your eyes. The wind brings sound, the town is near and carries scents of vineyards and beer. 2. Over there, framed by a branch, you can see a little patch of dark blue, stung by a sinister star that fades with faint quiverings so small and white. June nights, 17, drink it in, sap is champagne, it goes to your head, the mind wanders, you feel a kiss on your lips, quivering like a living thing. 3, the wild heart crusoes through 1,000 novels, and when a young girl walks alluringly through a street lamp's pale light beneath the ominous shadow of her father's starched collar, because as she passes by, boot heels tapping, she turns on a dime, eyes wide, finding you too sweet to resist. And cavatinas die on your lips. 4, you're in love. Off the market till August, you're in love. Your sonnets make her laugh. Your friends are gone, you're bad news. Then one night, your beloved writes. That night, you return to the blinding cafes. You order beer or lemonade. No one's serious at 17 when lindens line the promenade.
Thank you so much, Jen, for that. Now we're going to go to Zoom land. Claire, who do you have?
First, we have up Megan Deutsch, and she'll be followed by Virginia Walker.
Awesome.
Thank you. Great to be here. Wonderful poetry. This is called Audible Tapestry. I sit in a music hall on Cape Breton Island. Fiddles, fingers shimmy open my shell. Dancers' feet tap, follow the fiddle's lead. Violin fades, feet crescendo. Strings follow the beat of the shoes. The dancer and musician weave an audible tapestry. Some days I glide my bow. Some days fear dictates the notes I play. Some days I am pleated into an allegro tempo. Skip up major scales ringing with purpose and joy. Sometimes I orchestrate the tenor of moments, and sometimes circumstance improvises my tone. Some days I want to perform the reel of yesterday. A child at the edge of the stage taps a heel in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan, and also want to thank all the features. Fantastic. This poem of mine was recently in the Suffolk County Poetry Review, and maybe I read it here before. I hope not. My mother singing. I am unprepared for her singing after so long. One of my sisters has digitized a recording, and now I stand suddenly weeping as my mother's tremulous voice rises in song. My sisters and I meet 36 years after her death. We often show old videos and slides, but this is the first singing that fits besides our parents' ghost and our stages of growth. I never had perfect pitch and disappointed my mother's musical genius. My piano just wrote. I could dance, and that she approved, led by Isadora Duncan's passionate memoir of note. But I introduced my mother to Ernest Bloch and Hector Villalobos. Both composers touched her heart, surged in her soul like waves over a dock. She loved hurricanes and waited as the air punched the wild heavens to release torrents. I took her to a Debussy opera and La Boheme. We wept together. Now I weep alone, standing alone, my face all rue. When she sings Indian love call, she scats a jazz feather. She loved pianist and followed blind Hank Feller from place to place because he could play invitation to open the veins of alerted love. She sings a carol at end. I look down at a plate, sit eat, resume vacation.
That was very nice, Virginia. Thank you so much. I would love to sing also, but I can't. Unfortunately, there are 88 keys on the keyboard and none of them are mine. Kathy Donnelly is next up here at the Riverhead Free Public Library.
This has been absolutely marvelous, and I can't thank you two enough for holding this venue. And very thank you to Doug and Barb and Kim. Fabulous. And I will talk louder now. My poem is called Grandmother. In a small room on the second floor, with an open window, the door is closing. In an armchair, a lit corner, with a book opened, she glances upward. Autumn breeze turns old pages abruptly. She doesn't notice. The book drops. Door slams. She closes her eyes, absorbs the sun.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to ask Bubby to please come up and read. Bubby is one of our founders of Poetry Street, along with Susan Dingle. And we just love him so much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Bubby.
Again, the features have astounded me. I was wandering through my archives and I found this piece that I had written there. September 2005, and it reminded me of the leadership that America had then and what it has now. At that time, it was George W. Bush, and he had started that illegal war without Congress support, Desert Storm, and he had the same intelligence that we are subjected to today. I can remember he was doing a radio cast with the president of Brazil, and he asked the president over national television, do people in Latin America speak Latin? God, yeah. Well, this is the president of the country. And the same, that was the year that Katrina struck New Orleans, and they took the Superdome and used it as almost as a one of the prisons, like the profit-making prisons that they have now. And we can almost superimpose that era onto now. And I heard this, Superman has cancer. So big, and oh so strong. The world protector for oh so long. For decades on end, you defended the weak, spoke up for the frightened who were afraid to speak. Loved by people, entranced by your charms, comfortable in the presence of your arms. Now this illness has made an invasion on you. The world doesn't quite know what to do. Who has the cure? Who has the answer? Who'll save the world when Superman has cancer? It's not a new sickness, it's festered for years, from killing Geronimo through slavery's tears. It abscessed on Bikini, made homeless a throng while testing radiation with a hydrogen bomb. Who has the cure? Do you have the answer? Because our nation's Superman had been diagnosed with cancer. It's spreading like wildfire, burning trees that were green, metastasized the whole Gulf Coast, buried New Orleans. All of Superman's family, his friends, his kin, never dreamed his demise would come from within. This hero is sick, but not terminal yet. The cure is expensive, but let's not forget. Inject the serum to cure the infected part. be it liver, kidney, lung, brain, or heart. Let's look at the x-rays. What is it they've said? The cure may be located at Superman's head. Evil concept and prophets give him his direction. Perhaps his thought pattern shattered, started the infection. The bandage to cover this festering boil is the GI station on Iraqi soil. Instead of blowing up an innocent Arabic home, they could be saving someone in the Superdome. This great nation must soon come up with an answer, because the Superman country has a Superman cancer.
Superman has cancer. Wow, that was great. Thank you so much, Bubby. So, Claire, who else do we have on Zoomland?
For today, Chip, we have Randy, and then I have one to read, and that's it from Zoomland.
Okay, great. Let's give it up for Randy Fowler.
Okay. I have new headphones, just making sure you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Tears. Nearby, a baby wails. She gasps for breath in between sobs, convulsing her body as if an evil force was holding her underwater. A chill floods my body. A large dam ruptured. Goosebumps pop. Flesh feels like a cheese grater scraped over it. Her tears bring the tang of sour cream left too long in the fridge. No matter how much I gargle, rinse, and spit, the taste lingers for days. The twin rivers flowing down her cheeks become oil slipping through my fingers when I want to hold them, memorize their texture to recall the rest of my life. Yet her crying, a rich aroma of lilacs, that sweet scent of life. I wish I remembered better, having known all too well a baby who has never cried. In honor of my daughter, Karis Coyle Fowler, who would have been 22 this May 9th. Thank you.
And I'm going to read something that is not by me. It's by Lewis Carroll. And today it's the opposite spectrum of some of the poems about youth. It's for my father. Today I'm reading it. 25 years ago, I adapted it for what I thought was an ancient colleague and mentor who was turning all of 50. Now I'm just going to read it straight for my father who turned 100.
Oh, wow.
And if I'm still here, I will read it again for Bubby when he turns 100. You are old, Father William. You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared I would injure my brain. But now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, why I do it again and again. You are old, said the youth, as I mentioned before. You have grown most uncomfortably fat, uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what is the reason for that? In my youth, said the sage as he shook his gray locks, I kept all my limbs very subtle. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box, allow me to sell you a couple. You are old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet. Yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it? In my youth, said his father, I took to the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength which it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life. You are old, said the youth. One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever. Yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever? I have answered 3 questions, and that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs. Thank you.
That was awesome, Claire. Thank you so much. And now we have Nina Yabel.
So I have to say that, Steve, you hit it right on the head when you said this is the perfect triangle of poetry. It was just so beautiful to me, really wonderful. This has been a tough year for me, but this poem is for a brother who passed away in 1986, and it's called The Year of the Plague. A photo taken when you are at the center of life, your radiant black hair, folded arms, muscled torso, hands graceful, thick veins that rolled beneath the fingers of so many lovers, hips slender, thinned at the branching. That morning began in darkness, cold hallways, leaves curled in death, drift through linen sky, no seraphim chorus to chant salvation, no angels to comfort gray layers of grief. Rain seeped through holes in the flashing, welled up, a mind lost, unfinished plans, long years of pain smothered, fires in the orange groves. The men, lithe and graceful, stray across the beach. Mandolin, guitar, and balalaika accompany dark waves. Sea churns, sparkles at the surface of harmony. Breeze and curls its tongue before it sighs, slips back limp, then hails another ride. Some waves are quiet, tight, and short, tumble slowly shoreward. Others rise up in swells, bring up black sand, large rocks, bones. Death presses hard against the bones. Breath doesn't come at all. I wanted to believe in some paradise, but chose to stay the long course. Your face hidden in the warm Libran earth, but even saints die. The men, lithe and graceful, stray across the beach, wonder how the moon fell, why there's no music from the breathing of the sea.
Thank you so much for that, Nina. Patricia McHugh is next. Let's bring her up. Give some applause. And she's a first time here.
Yes. Thank you, Chip and
Well,
Maggie.
welcome.
Thank you. This is my first time here, and it's a pleasure to share one of my poems with you. And thank you to all the readers so far and our guests. This is called A Deep Choice. Carry me down to the furthest depth of the largest ocean. Pressure building, getting darker. Finally, we land with a bounce. What creatures exist here under the water's weight? My curiosity brought me here. Claustrophobia joins me. Not natural to be so far from light, yet creatures survive. I look for the sea cucumbers, for the angler fish with glowing lures on their heads. Aquatic miners nowhere in sight. Maybe they're hiding or have struck gold. Imagine being born in darkness. Is there any joy? Eyes adapted to low light. Do other senses grow stronger? safety from predators. If given a choice, space or here, I would forego the spectacular sights of space, the extent of galaxies, the awe-inspiring colors, and the interminable silence. There must be remarkable sights here, undiscovered, and sound. At least there's sound. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Patricia, and we can't wait for you to come back. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And next we have... Barbara Ann Braca. Boy, we love her. Yes, we do.
Wow, everyone. Well, this has been extraordinary. Dougie and Barbara and Kim, and all the open mic. I have kind of this, almost like a little silly thing, and I was going to read something more substantial, but Bobby said, "Are you going to sing?" What the heck? So I'm going to have a snippet of a song. It's spring again, and birds on the wing again start to sing again that old melody. I love you. That's the song of songs, and it all belongs to you and me. And it all belongs to you and me. So what follows is, there is that shade of green that knows only now, a hint of green that's just outgrown yellow. Leaves like feathery infants held fast in a nursery tree cradle, like that yellow-green Crayola from your first box of 64. That shade of green like puppy love kisses wet behind the ears, like that first stirring, sap rising, spring awakening, an impressionist painting, dots telling the story. Like that time at the Met when you had a springtime crush on what's his name, now long dead. There is that shade of green, love before commitment, that first roll in new mown hay. I want to hold it, taste it, make verdant youth last. That splendor in the grass, feel it forever now, oh please, until of course I sneeze. Happy spring. Another poem is about Mother's Day.
Happy spring to you too, and to everyone here. And now we're going to hear from our wonderful Maggie Bloomfield.
I'm so moved by this afternoon. I'm very vulnerable, I think. I lost a friend this week. A community lost a friend this week. So it's Poetry Month. I want to thank everybody for being here and for being on Zoom. I think I read this before, but what the hell? If I were a poem, I would be Emily's gossamer tool, headed toward God knows where. I would be one of Keats' high-piled books. I would be Frank O'Hara's New York City. only with skyscrapers much higher than the Seagram building. I would be John Donne's flea for sure, full of seduction. I would choose to be Margaret's golden grove over Rothke's root cellar. I might be Elizabeth Bishop's old fish, but not Hardy's Titanic, nor his iceberg. I would be Billy Collins' dog, or Mary Oliver's on a walk to the sea, Sylvia's melon on two tendrils. I would rescue Icarus with a butterfly net as I cruised by in Auden's expensive ship, even with someplace very important to go. Thank you. Ship's not gonna read. Oh.
Okay. Okay. 14, yeah, right, 14. I just happen to have a poem right here. Okay, no, actually, 14 years ago, I lost a dear friend. His name is Gregory Clark, and he just was there, and then he wasn't, death is something else. He had something with his heart, but we just saw him. Ode to Greg. Memories fresh in my mind, I silently cry. The mountain's morning mist reaches even the corners with grief. I'm filled with pain and abysmal emptiness. Tears storm while unanswered questions line up in my mind, even wondering if there was anything, something, signs I've missed. It doesn't seem real. We had just broken bread and had just spoken. He was extremely excited about the future, and now you tell me that his life is through. And I remain here, stunned, angry, sad, and hurt like many of you, not knowing what to do. It seems so unfair. I don't understand answers to questions. Why, I demand. Desperately trying to find the lesson. Can't hear those old words of sorrow folks would always say. Like a fisherman, Greg casted a wide net of hope and dreams as lure. He was a great pollinator. He sprinkled his goodness all over the world, ensuring a prosperous spring and a bountiful harvest will come to us for sure. Skillfully, he juggled as long as he could while double Dutch jump roping with barbed wire. There was no one that I know of who has ever reached for higher. He was truly gifted and admired. He took in all that was needed and gave all that was required. Greg had talents beyond compare, a major artery, a life force of the industry, connecting our lives, selecting the right extraordinary people of a vast diversity. He was as generous as the sun-blackened leaves that adorns an old oak tree, and as welcoming and refreshing as an unexpected cool August breeze. The unraveled truth of his feelings never did he hide. He was very protective of those he loved, open blade at his side. His expressions alone could communicate his intent, although he had no problems saying exactly what he meant. He spoke the truth and never did waver. He was innovative, ambitious, and tenacious, and dared to live fearlessly, expecting greatness, accepting nothing less. Although he left so unexpectedly, he left behind us, for us, an indelible legacy. Like so many others who was touched and changed by the life of Gregory Russell Clark, I shall always be grateful for the fun times, his loving, caring, and sharing nature. It is this memory of him that will always be kept alive in my now injured heart. I love and miss you, Greg. And now it is my pleasure to bring back Doug Swezy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Let me see. So as I mentioned, we have an open mic theme at the reading that I host, and this one in particular was called Being Human. Incidentally, on May 1st, we're going to have Ed Lors, who is absolutely fantastic. He can recite Beowulf off the top of his head. He reads these hilarious things as if he were Shakespeare himself, which makes it even funnier. I implore you to join us.
And where's your open mic?
This is at Dog-Eared Bard's Bookshop, which is in East Northport on Larkfield, right across from Hewitt Square. Plenty of parking there. And it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. So please, if you can. This is number 1485, subtitled Being Human. Be human. Believe in humanity. There is a study of it. You can obtain a degree in humanities by studying cultures, music, and the arts. This is a very concrete thing. No one confuses a human for, say, a duck. It is said, though, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, probably it's a duck. But I know humans who walk like a duck, dress like a duck. We can make sounds like a duck. We mimic so much. We can act doggedly. We sometimes chicken out. They get into cat fights when sometimes they are being a bear, perhaps because they are hungry and need to pig out. All these metaphors, yet one only for humans, to do it as fast as humanly possible, and frankly, many of us are not that fast. I've never come across a fish and thought, look how human-y. So then why not? I can only conclude it is that they do not wish to be. There is not the need, the drive, the want, which is what separates us, desire. And yet, as a species, we are desirous of other species, to be as fast as a cheetah, to sing like a bird, content as a cow, graceful as a swan, strong as an ox, smart as a fox. So yes, be human, believe in humanity, but also know there is zoology, there is a hierarchy, there is a place for all, even the blue-footed booby.
Oh, wow. What a great poem to end with. Thank you so much, Doug. And now, Kim Brandon.
All right, thank you. And this is my poem from the 30/30 this week. The rent is late. We were fighting again this morning. He bounced his favorite line off the bedroom walls, like the chorus of a swan song. He said, "I've never asked you for nothing," and he shouts. And this is when I usually bark back. You ask not because you have not. Our voices get louder and louder, one half-veiled insult after another. But in the middle of the quarrel on this day, something in my head popped. I had a change of heart. I had a change of mind, and my heart softened, opened wide, and I uttered, "You've asked me to make my home for you in my spirit. You've asked me to bathe you in my comforts. You've asked me to share my days and to plant seeds that would bloom for us tomorrow and the day after that. You have requested me to love you up to here. And I put my hand to my waist the way my Native American friend does when you ask him how he's doing. He modestly says, I've come up to here, meaning that he is not finished, but he has made progress. My lover looked at me for a very, very long time without saying a word. The rent was still going to be paid late, but I saw him standing there in the stillness. I saw good love for the first time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. And now we're going to bring back Barbara Southard. Barbara is the Poet Laureate Emeritus. What year?
2019 to 2021, right?
Yes.
All right. This is a poem I really did write for you. It's called This Is For You. This is for you, who sees the unraveling of ordinary days as something miraculous, who longs to keep that magic with you, like a hoard dug up from the loamy soil of your days, to save what will soon be irretrievable. It's a long day. Life always demanding change. No hunger haunts you for fame, but more the need to create in any form that intrigues you, to share your work with those that hold the same passion. This is my poem for you.
Thank you so much. Let's have a hand for the features and the open mic readings. What an afternoon. Please come back next month. And if you can, come on Thursday to the Mattatuck Laurel Library and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.